Shalom and good day, everyone. Today is our Father's preparation day, for soon His holy day will be coming in, which is His Shabbat, for those who follow His calendar, which consists of 3 lights. Coming back up here to share with you what He has revealed. Like I said, He's pouring out a lot right now. There's a lot of things that He need us to see. As you're walking with Him, you'll learn that what you think you know is not even close to a slice of pie. It's on a sliver of a pie. So this is another video to add to your collection, because what I'm about to share with y'all, this is going to show you why you have to have a strong foundation as you're going through the scriptures, because certain things should stand out to you. Certain things should prompt you to say, okay, I need to pay attention to this verse. Father's saying something unto me that will confirm unto you if you're following the correct calendar. Okay. Now, what I'm giving to you is just a highlight. It's just one of the pieces of the puzzle. There is so much other evidence out here that will confirm that our Father's calendar is made of 3 lights. And unfortunately, we have several assemblies, several individuals, even those who are important themselves to teach the people. They are only teaching one part of the calendar, and this is where they are erring. Another thing that the fathers bring to our attention, that most of them not going out and observing the heavens and the earth, which are his witnesses unto him. They're just putting their calendar on paper and they're just running with it. Also, they're not reading Enoch first, second, and I also like to read the third writings too, even though we know the first and second writings are heavily into the calendar for those who want to learn it. But you have to master Torah and the gospel to really understand his calendar, as well as the other writings, such as the writings of the prophets and the scribes, as well as the other sacred books. So, which bring me to this. I have a picture set before you dealing with John chapter 10, verse 22. Take this time to read this verse, because as I was reading it, it's it stood out to me. And the Father said, "Do you see it?" So take this time now to read it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this verse in its full context when we get to the Bible. But the thing that the Father now want me to share with you, for I had shared with the family of Yah that I found another site that prints the 1611 Bible, but it prints it with the things that's not inclusive that you can find with the Henderson Publishing Company, with Zondervan, and with Nelson. Those are the other 3 companies I came across that prints the 1611, but unfortunately certain things out, such as the lineage charts, the maps and everything. So I found a company that reprints it in this entirety. As far as what I know that should be in there, we are aware of the other books that's not in there. So the Father has given us the Jews of Ethiopia as proof and evidence of the other books we should be reading. But this site here is found on eBay. Okay. Here's their contact number: 1-800-422-6243. Their website is www.greatsite.com. Their email address is info@greatsite.com, and their company is out of Arizona. Okay. Now, we're going to eBay. I will post this information in the video description box, but I'm going to forewarn you, when you get your copy, it's in the original print. Oh, it's in the Roman Gothic print. Okay. But it is a big book now. Okay. It's a big book. But what I like about this book, it's big enough where you can write your notes. Okay. And they are very good as far as sending this stuff on time. I'm trying to get my cursor just right. It's not cooperating with me like the way I want it. Okay. Trying to bring this up, but everything want to pop open. Okay. So there we go. Thank you, Father. As you see, The price is 109. Sometimes you can get a sale or whatever, but I like this copy. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go to the pictures. And what I like about the page, you see how they blew it up and you have room on the side where you can make notes or put your sticky notes. Okay. And what I like too, it has the chart lineages, because there are certain sites I go to look at the chart lineages as well. And then it's showing you what the actual scriptural contact look like. And then they do send you a leaflet with give you a little bit more history of how this book and other books was put together. And they send you a like a replica of an authentic page of a Bible, but it's like to me it's like a replica. But let me read it here and see what it says. Um, Here, let's see here. Trying to look for what they send with it. But if you read this description word for word, um, you would get an idea, what you're getting when you're paying for this book. But I do want to forewarn you, it's in the Roman Gothic print, so it takes a while for your eyes to adjust to read it. Um, but for me, it's worth it because of the type of research that I do when I'm studying the Father's Word and I'm trying to confirm certain things to make sure they are correct. So what they say here, do not confuse our photographic facsimiles with small cheap reprints you may have seen. The popular Thomas Nelson or Henderson publisher 1611 edition mass marked Bible, for example, is not a true facsimile, nor do they claim it is. It is a totally new typesetting in a strange semi-modern Roman-style typeface without the original woodcut, decorative accents or beautiful Gothic black letter-style typeface found in the original. Such reprints may maintain the ancient spellings, but they do not look anything like an original 1611. So this paragraph is telling you why they are different. But I do want to forewarn you, they're on the print is in Roman Gothic letters, so it takes a while to adjust and to make out the words. And also it's in Old English as well. Okay, and this was like a leaflet that I got. One of the leaflets that I sent to you. And then this is the pamphlet that I got too to give me more history. And then too, I noticed on that site they do sell other Bibles, that was put together and stuff. So that's a good thing to have in your collection. So let's get this out the way. Okay. So that information will be in the video description box for those who are interested in purchasing that type of Bible. But again, I just want to forewarn you that the front, when I say front, the font is in Roman Gothic, so it takes a while for your eyes to adjust in reading it. And it's also in Old English. Okay. So the next thing I want to take you to, let's get this out the way. I will be sharing some copyright material with you. The title of this word today is dealing with John chapter 10, verse 22. I just love how the Father just put these things in place because we're preparing for the Feast of Dedication, known as the Feast of Light. In the Hebrew tongue, we say Hanukkah, and we know that it has nothing to do with lighting the menorah. That is a Jewish fable that the new covenant been warning us about. Again, you have to be grounded in Torah to know what is of true and what is a Jewish fable. And we have many of the witnesses, like in other books, like the Maccabees, Solomon, you know, also Torah, what Moses did, and Nehemiah, Ezra. We have the work of Josephus to confirm unto you what is of Yah and what is a Jewish fable, what is a lie, that we did not that it was not given us to keep or to do. Okay, so lighting the menorah is not of the Israelites. So the title of this word is John chapter 10, verse 22. And in that verse, it's going to reveal this: the solar calendar followers, error, and proof of the moon in regarding to 13th month and its month. Okay, so with the title, I know it's a little bit wordy, but I word it like that because this one scripture, believe it or not, John chapter 10, verse 22, is going to show you the error of those who only follow the sun based on 364 days. Okay, it's going to show you their error. And at the same time, it's going to show you proof that the Israelite does use the moon for the month, as far as how you set your month up. And it also is going to show you proof for the 13th month. Now, this is where of keeping your calendar records going to come into play. Remember, I told you that sometimes you have to go back and pull up information from your calendar records. So this is why it's so important that we have records. Remember, the Father said that a fool would not observe time. So those who are wise, those are his children, we are observing time. We are keeping record. Like the Messiah said, we should be watching and praying. Okay. So now let's go to the scripture itself. I want to read a chapter summary from you. I am reading from the 1611 Bible, and this link will be in the video description box so you can have access to it. For John chapter 10 summary says, the Messiah is the door and the good shepherd. Divers opinions of him. He reproveth by his works that he is the Messiah, the Son of God, or the Son of Yah, the Son of Yahuwah, that escapeth the Jews, or you can say Judeans, because that's where the word Jew comes from, Judeans, okay, and went again beyond Jordan, where many believed on him. Now, with the Jews and Judea, it always go back to the southern kingdom, the kingdom that was ruling at the time. Remember the stick, which is the menorah, was split in two, and the two became what? Two kingdoms of the Israelites. So you have northern kingdom and southern kingdom. In this particular period of time of the days of the Messiah, it was in the time of the southern kingdom. Okay. Now let's go to verse 22. John chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the city of peace, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. Now, as you read this verse, what should stick out to you? What should stick out to you? So it was at Jerusalem, at the city of peace, the Father's place where his spirit would dwell. Okay. And during this particular time, we have the Feast of Dedication. We know it has dealing with the Hanukkah. And proof of that, it has a side note. It's referencing to you to go to the book of Maccabees, the first book, chapter 4, verse 59. So you can do that as your homework. Okay. So we see in this verse at this particular time that it is the Feast of Dedication known as Hanukkah. Okay. And just below that verse, notice that Yahusha walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. So again, it's letting you know it's dealing with the Father's house. Okay. All right. And it was winter. So this verse is also giving us what? A time within the year. It's also giving us what? The season. It was winter during the time when the feast of dedication was held. These are the things that should stick out to you for those who are grounded in Torah and who has been studying his calendar through the prophets such as Enoch, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Zechariah, and many others, and the work of Josephus. Jubilees. I mean, I can go on, but there's many witnesses and follow as well that would give you the pieces to the puzzle to learn his calendar. And what Father is telling me to tell you again is that remember, this information is given unto the prophets, his mouthpiece. So they're not going to lead you wrong, because when you face him, how Father judge you is based on whether you follow the instructions, the commandments that was given through his prophets. Okay, so before you start running to the other books that's written by Adam, mankind, whether they are Israelites or Gentiles, you better make sure your foundation is from his prophets. Okay, other books are okay as long as it align to what his prophets say. All right, now let's get to the nitty gritty. Before we start, while I was going to my calendar records, I did find an error that I had made in the year of 2019 to 2020 in that calendar. I am correcting that error, and what I'm doing, I'm putting a red asterisk mark so you can see what I did, so you too can go behind me and check. I'm just surprised nobody picked that up in that year of 2019 to 2020 because it was in the 10th month of the sun when I noticed that from copy and pasting, I miscounted. For example, I had the sun in this 10th month, the first day, and then following after that count, I had two. And for some reason, I had two, I had three, and then from three, I jumped from five. I don't know how I did that, y'all, but I did. So I'm going back and going through the year of 2019 and 2020 to make sure I add up that correctly because I need to find out if the sun had a total of 365 or 366 days in that year. Now, what you're going to learn from Enoch's writings, the first writings, the second writings, and I have to say this because I'm talking now to the solar calendar keepers. When you go out and observe the heavens as well as the earth, and you're counting the days, you're no longer getting 364. According to the second writings of Enoch, the Father changed it to 365 and a quarter now. But the rule about the quarter is in the heavens. This is the rule. This is the law in heavens. The quarter is not added into the fourth year of the sun's circuit or in the sun's year. And that's how we got 366. A lot of these numbers are related to the biblical events that take place with Enoch when he take him to the heavens. Also, you will learn it's also related to the fall of Adam. When Adam fall, things begin to change. The Father changed it for a reason. Okay. Again, you're not going to understand these things until you come in the whole volume of the book. And I found that many have ran with Enoch's writings and did not take their time, nor did they go out to the heavens to observe what was what to make sure it was correct. Another thing to follow with me bring to your attention, I too have a copy of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, what I want to say about the Dead Sea Scrolls, there is some truth in it. And the Father had me to go in there and look at the records and go back and check behind the math. And there is some errors in that. Remember, these books have been translated by the Gentiles, by the heathens. Now, also, you need to read the history of how this book is put together because you will learn that the Yahad, the Jewish, had a hand in this. So, what I'm saying to you, Israelites and Gentiles, don't run with the Dead Sea Scrolls because we know the heathens have been in those books. They didn't publish those books right away. They didn't allow those to come in and publish those books right away. They held onto those scrolls that they found. So I'm telling y'all, you don't know what is right or correct until you start precepting that book with the 1611 Bible as well as the other sacred books that the Father has ordained for us to read. Again, his spirit going to lead you to all truth. And math don't lie, cause y'all, I've been in the book and I'm already finding errors that they did. And I'm understanding why some people are running with it because we have to go back to the Hebrew language and we have to break these things down. Okay? But the Father ain't gonna leave you hanging. And one of the verses that we're gonna look at today is going to confirm what I'm telling you about Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. Your calendar must follow the three lights. You cannot follow one light. That's one of the errors of those who are only following the sun, only going by the solar calendar that they said there's 364 days. However, the heavens don't show that now. All you got to do is count the days and you can see what I'm talking about. Ain't going to show it. And the season's going to testify against them because as they're starting their holy days, if they are being honest and they are following their format as they say they are following, then they will find out that their festivals such as Passover and Tabernacles will not start in the correct season. And we'll talk about that as we go through this chart. So this chart, I put a chart together for you, and I will be sharing this chart with you so you can review and print it out and do more research for yourself, okay? But this is the proof to show you the error of those who are only following a solar calendar, and I do need to put 364 because that's what most of them are following now. 364 days, okay? So they are following a solar calendar of 364 days. This is the proof that they are in error. They need to follow the three lights, which is the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. That is the order that Father commands us in Torah, okay? Another thing that this verse is going to reveal is going to prove that the Apocrypha is correct about the moon in Ben Sirach, which is known as the son of Sirach. Another word for his book is Ecclesiasticus. I'm going to my book now to check to make sure I gave you the right chapter because I am aware there are some assemblies that has disregarded the Apocrypha, but even Josephus, when you read the 1611 history of the Apocrypha, you will find that the Protestant was the one that removed it, but it is in the Catholic Bible as well as these books are in the books of the Jews of Ethiopia. Like I said, a lot of them will keep themselves in a box and they're not going to have this knowledge. So therefore they're going to err and follow behind the Gentiles and keep these days wrong. Okay? That's how simple it is, y'all. But we are making it hard because we don't want to listen to the prophets of Yah. You will learn that those who have written this book is of the Israelite lineage or has some kinship to the Israelites, okay? And you will learn that the Father has placed his spirit upon them to write these books unto us. But unfortunately, many don't read them and they run with things, and this is why they get what they get. This is why they be in error. So yes, it is in Ben Sirach chapter 43. Read that, and that's proof that the moon role in his calendar is to give you the month. Okay? It is to give you the month. And you will see that it is the moon months that gives you understanding about the prophecies. Because remember, we're given some dates on certain prophecies. And those prophecies are based on what? 30 days. If you know what I'm talking about, especially when you get to the book of Daniel, as well as when you look at Genesis with the flood, it's based on the month of the moon, not the circuit of the sun. And I got more proof. But like now we're going to the main highlight. Another thing that this verse, John chapter 10, verse 22, is going to reveal to you, is going to confirm to you there is a 13th month. In other words, our Father in heaven does command the moon to produce a 13th month because if she does not, she would be out of season and she would not be aligned with the sun and with Mazzaroth. Okay, there is proof for this, and it's given in the heavens for those who reject what we're saying, but the heavens would testify against you as well as the earth would testify against you. This is very simple, but many make this too hard. Okay, so in the book of John, chapter 10, verse 22, we read that the feast of dedication during the time of the Messiah, he went to Jerusalem to keep it, and it was in the winter season. So, for those who have been studying his calendar, and especially to my family who's listening, well, to Yah's family who's listening, we've been studying the calendar. We learned about the seasons, and we learned that the season was based upon the events of the flood in the days of Noah. Okay, of how we have four. Okay, four seasons. Okay, and we learned that the seasons are determined or given unto us by these two lights, which are the sun and Mazzaroth. So these two lights work together to tell you when spring begins and end, when summer begins and end, and when fall begins and end, and when winter begins and end. Okay? So by the Father's rule, your Passover, the first day, which is a V14, must fall in springtime. That is his commandment. As well as Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. Your first day must fall in fall, not summer, but fall. And that happened this year to many. Go back to your calendar records and see when they started these festivals. See what season they fell in. Okay. So we have 4 seasons. Remember that we have spring, summer, fall, and winter. Okay. Now, when we look at the sun's circuit, this is the sun's month that will fall in the falling season. For example, the sun first, second, and third month will fall in the spring season. Then in the summer, the sun's fourth, fifth, and sixth month will fall in the summer season. And then the sun's seventh, eighth, and ninth month will fall in the fall season. Then the sun's 10th, 11th, and 12th month will fall in the will fall in the winter season. Do y'all see where I'm going with this now? Because when you go back to John chapter 10, verse 22, it's showing you that you can't go by the sun's month for the festival or for the feast of dedication, because this verse is telling you during that particular time it fell in winter. And we know according to scriptures that this festival that we keep in honoring the days of the Maccabees, of what happened during that time, fell in the 9th month and 25th day. I'm going to put this down here. 9th month, feast of dedication. The dedication fell, and people call this Hanukkah. Starts on the 9th month and 25th day. That is the rule. You can't twist them scriptures to one of those who like to twist scriptures. I'm going to see if you're going to twist that. So that is the law. That is the rule right there. That is the commandment that comes from the Israelites. Okay. And you see, even the Messiah kept it because he went to Yahusha. Where was the Messiah from? He was from Galilee, Galilee, from a town named Nazareth in Galilee. So the Messiah too kept it as well. Okay. So it's in the 9th month known as Kaslu or Kislu, depending on what tongue or what spelling you're using. In the 9th month and the 25th day. Now the 9th month is based on the moon, not based on the sun. Because if you look at this date and this month, the sun's 9th month falls in fall. So you would never get this festival. How can I say this? You will always get this festival to start in fall. No, let me correct myself because you're going to see when I give y'all the dates. If you use the sun, this festival will start in fall. The beginning of it will start in fall. Okay? Because you know the first day is a holy convocation day. And the 8th day is a holy convocation day. Go back and study the Feast of Tabernacle because it's kept in the same mannerism as the Feast of Tabernacle. So the days that they gather together. So your first day is a holy convocation day. And then the 8th day, if I remember correctly, let me look it up because I don't want to tell you nothing wrong. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Okay. So We know the first day is a holy convocation day. I'm in Numbers chapter 29 for those who want to go back and look. And then on the on the 8th day is a solemn assembly day. Okay? A solemn assembly day. So we put this right here. Day 1. And then day 8. We do no servile work on this day because we are assembling ourselves before the Father. Okay? So as you see with the sun's month, the 9th month will always fall in fall, and the sun's 10th month will always fall in winter. Now I am aware that the days of the Feast of Dedication will go into the 10th month. But we're going to look at some dates from the prior years so you can see. Okay? Now let's go to the next section. Now, when you look at the sun's month or the sun's circuit, based on those who are saying it's only 364 days, okay, in the sun's year, I need to put 364 days, solar year, so you can see what I'm saying. When you look at the 9th month, according to first Enoch, but remember there was a change later on, the 9th month will have about 31 days. Okay, so it starts from the first day to the 35th day, which is fall. The 10th month of the sun, we usually have 30 days, starting from the first day to the 30th day, and this is your first month of winter. So we know the days that's in between the feasts of dedication, such as day 2, all the way going to day 7. Okay, that's not a holy assembly day. Okay, your holy convocation or your holy assembly day where we gather ourselves together to appear before Yah to worship Him on that day will fall on day 1 and day 8. Okay, these are the things you have to write down and see. So in my calendar records, this is where you got to pull your calendar records out because you do want to see how does the Feast of Dedication fall. Okay, so we're going to start in this year and work ourselves backwards. Okay, so for this year, in the year of 2021 to 2022, we had the Feast of Dedication to fall in winter this year, the first day, which is the 9th month and 25th day. Now, I don't have an end date yet because I'm waiting to see what would be my date regarding the moon. As far as the date of the sun, we have it to start on the sun's 10th month and 3rd day. 10th month and 3rd day. Okay. Now, let's look at the next year. Because you got to ask, well, you'll see this. So in the year of 2021, oh, and notice here, it for this year, based on Enoch's formula, so the 358 rule, I already know that we won't have a 13th month for this year. So the answer is no. So when we go to last year, which is 2020 to 2021, based on the moon, we know we have the festival to start on the 9th month and 25th day. And that year it'll end on the 10th month and 3rd day because the moon, days of the month will vary because its circuit is what? Actually 29 and a half. And that's in First Enoch. You will see it. Okay. Now, the date that this festival fell on in the sun's year, it fell on the sun's ninth month, 19th day, and in the sun's ninth month and 26th day. So it'll fall in the fall season because it is before the sun's 10th month. Okay. But notice what happened when we had a 13th month in the year of 2020 to 2021. It calls for the next following year for this festival to be pushed in winter. So notice that in this year, it is confirming that a 13th month that exists, because when you have this extra month, it can push your festivals to occur in a certain season, such as, for example, it shall keep your Passover in spring, it shall keep your Sukkot in fall. And what we're seeing, that the 13th month will push this feast of dedication or the feast of light known as Hanukkah into winter season. Now, when we get to the year of 2019 to 2020, when I looked at my records, again, for the date of the moon for this festival, always will fall on the 9th month and 25th day. And notice what happened here. It falls on the sun's 9th month and 29th day, and it ends in the sun's 10th month and 7th day. So in this particular year, this festival fell in 2 seasons, fall and winter. Fall and winter. Okay. Fathers want me to point out to you again, you have to write everything out. When you read John chapter 10, verse 22, notice that he goes to Jerusalem. So this is dealing with a holy assembly day. Okay. So I know my solar people may argue where he probably went on the last day of it. But what I'm pointing out to you, when you look at the season and it said it was winter, I'm having a feeling that this festival was started in the winter season, all of it, not part of it. Because we only have 2 days in that festival, in that 8-day feast, where it's a holy assembly day. That is day 1 and day 8. So you may want to go back and read John chapter 10 as well as other sources to get an idea of the time period and when this happened. But so far, on the evidence that I'm providing unto you, it is confirming that we go by the moon for our month and not the sun. Because with the moon, as you see, and especially when we have a 13th month, you will see this festival in some of the years start in winter. Okay? But if you only use the sun, what you're going to have is this festival having to start in fall and winter when you compare it. So it's always be the same from year to year if you only go by the sun. But if you go by the moon circuit, you will see a difference. Let us keep going. So also in the year of 2019 to 2020, notice that we didn't have a 13th month. And so notice what happened in the next following year, which is 2020, 2021. You see this festival starting in fall. Okay. Now let's look at the year of 2018 to 2019. Again, the date of this festival in the moon's month started on the 25th. Okay, and end on its 10th month and 2nd day. With the sun, it started on the sun's 9th month and 11th day, and end on the sun's 9th month and 8th day. So in the year of 2018 to 2019, okay, this festival started in fall. But notice what happened here. We had a 13th month to happen in this year. So because we had a 13th month to happen in the year of 2018 to 2019, in the next following year, it pushed this festival right here. It pushed this festival to part of it to fall and winter. Okay. So your last day of dedication, which is the 10th month of the moon and day 2, fell on the sun's 10th month and 7th day. So that part fell in winter. When you look at the moon's 9th month and 25th day, fell on the sun's 9th month and 29th day, that part fell in fall. So you have a Holy Convocation Day to start in fall and a Holy Convocation Day, the last one, to start in winter. Okay? Something to really think about and to look at. This is another piece of nugget that the Father wants us to look at, but this is more proof and evidence unto us that the month is determined by the moon. That is her role unto us in his calendar. And the sun worked with Mazzaroth to determine when the seasons begin and end, but also it regulates the moon to let her know when she shall produce a 13th moon or a 13th month. Something to take a look at. Again, FYI, I will be going back to the year of 2019 and 2020 to correct my miscounting of the days of the sun. That was the error that I made. So I have to look at my end of year summary sheet to see how many days is in the sun's year for that year of the Most High calendar, whether it's 365 or 366, and that is based on the commandments and the instructions that is written in Second Enoch. It is not the same as the heathens. They are following something different. They don't follow the heavens. So the year that we have 366 is not going to align to the year when they have 366. It is completely different. Okay? Something to take a look at, to study in your spare time. And if I have any other information to elaborate on this topic, I will come back and share. All right, my brothers and sisters, continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it's truly at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as read in Romans chapter 10, and baptize the people in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. For the Lamb set the example, the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism, and the apostles continue to both. Love you all, and shalom.